So, what do you think it takes to show rural students who may have complaints about their education that their complaints aren't so huge in the realm of the world?
Well, they need to be communicated with, and luckily communication is getting easier and easier. But it's not just communication. The trouble in rural societies is people feel disconnected, and showing them that they're not disconnected. In fact, they have a terrific amount of resources at their disposal. How to use those resources, how to use the the internet and all that, how to understand, how to keep a critical mind when dealing with that stuff. And in the end, in this day and age, we all can be somewhat isolated. People in the rural country feel isolated, but even city livers are isolated in their own way, spend more time in front of their computer, and their minds range throughout the world according to they can, if they want them to. They just have to be motivated to use the portals available to them.
That's a good question. So you went to a private school in Montreal. Do you think you can take your experiences from going to a private school and apply them to a rural education?
My private school was a specific one. It was a way of learning that didn't exist. It was very strict. Jesuit school. No, I don't think I could. I don't know if I'd want to.
Yeah.
It was a great education, and I value it. But it was more about looking backwards than looking forwards, which both are important. So I think, I think in the rural, it's in the future that there's all the possibility, not in the past. The people who are in small communities and far off places, yes, they have to be more creative, they have to be more motivated, but they can have all the culture and everything they need as long as they go get it, as they put a little bit more effort.
You've reported from many different countries around the world. What draws you to such controversial issues?
Curiosity and mistrust for mass media. Need to understand for myself why things are happening. It's always very different from what we're being told. Maybe not because what we're being told is not true, but it's missing often a part of the story. I often like to, we hear about a place like Iraq or Afghanistan. I really want to know, I want to know some real people from these places. I want to be able to feel what life is like for real people. So that's one of the reasons why I go out there.
Has fear ever taken over the journalism aspect? Like, you're held at gunpoint in Baghdad. Has fear ever taken over?
I've certainly had fearful moments,
right.
But I guess that's what my lessons about fear is. You cannot, the idea of being taken over by fear sounds like you panic, and when you panic is when things really go wrong. I've had some tense moments, and luckily, in some cases, forces from outside saved me. Sometimes I managed to find my own way through, but my advice is the more things are crazy, the more calm you have to be, even though that's not the instinct often. For journalists or people who want to go to the war zones, they have to be able to not be taken over by fear. Because if you look at fear, if you're afraid, fear is sort of a vague thing, and you often don't know what to fear. You're fearing just too much. And therefore, you actually don't see the actual danger, which is very precise. If you're not overtaken by fear and you're just open to seeing where the actual danger is, it's easier to dodge, metaphorically speaking.
Yeah.
What about your family? Has having children affected your at all?
Completely. I've 2 years ago I was in Darfur, right? I went into Darfur with rebels into the war zone. It was very tense, and my son was one at the time, and I'm in the pickup truck in the night driving with these rebels into the war zone. And as much as I'm thrilled to be back in my favorite position, which really is, when I feel most alive, I thought it was foolish. I decided I won't do it until I can get the permission of my children, which was at least a good 15 years away. So yeah, I'm not doing war zones anymore. So in some ways, I'm finding young people to work with who want to do war zones, and I'm taking more of a backseat.
Makes sense. So,
Yeah.
people are very aware of your opinions on the war in Afghanistan. Do you ever fear of public opinion?
No,
No. Never bothers you?
no, I don't care what other people think. I mean, I care what they think. I want to learn from people, but I don't mind. I think what my opinions, I try and think them through carefully, and sometimes I do change it. I'm wrong about things a lot. Well, I try not to be a lot, but I am wrong about things. But I think through what I believe carefully.
Your father, husband, son. You work for Maclean's magazine. You're the director for the